Welcome to lesson 3 of the ModelViewer tutorials. In this lesson we will adjust our model and the materials a little bit. In the previous lesson we just exported it as it is, and now we will tweak it a little bit. So we still have the asset in the asset bundles folder from our previous lesson. We simply select these and delete them so that we can create a new asset later. And now we want to change the materials, which we exported into the materials folder previously. Therefore, we just select all the materials. Just hold down the Shift key to select all the materials which belong to your model. And then here on the right in the inspector view, we can change the metallic slider to a very high value and the smoothness slider as well to give all the materials a more metallic look. Now we already have a much nicer material for the complete engine. And now let's say if we want to change only one material of a specific part of the engine, we can select the engine. So click one time and then you have this blue outline around the engine. And then click again to select one of the subcomponents of the object, like this. So let's say we want to change the material of these tubes here. We select one of the tube, and then we can have a look here in the inspector on the right and see that it is material 41. And then we can, this is how it will look when you select it, and then you can open it here with this little arrow, and then we can change only this material. And because it is applied to all the tubes, you see how all the tubes are changing in their smoothness of the reflection. So let's adjust it to about 0.5. And now we have a lot less glossy reflection for the tubes. Okay, so let's leave it like this. And or if you want to change the color, you can simply click on the color selector here in the albedo and then adjust the color to your liking. You can also go here in the material folder to the material directly, click on it, and then you have the material with the preview here and do your adjustments on the material. This is actually the same as if you do it on the object. And what you can also do is you can change the shader. So there are 3 different types of shaders which are supported in the ModelViewer. One is the Autodesk Interactive, and the other ones are standard and standard specular setup. The Autodesk Interactive material doesn't look much different right now compared to the standard shader. This is more visible if you have different maps applied here to the different properties of the material. Okay, so now let's change the pivot of the model so that we have a better rotation center. Right now, if we would rotate it in the ModelViewer, it rotates around its center, which is like here in the lower part of the engine, but I would like to have the rotational point of the object more in the real center of the object. To do this, we will first change our perspective view to ISO and then look at the object from the front. Therefore, you can click here on these little cones for the axis and change your view accordingly to left, right, top, down, etc. So in order to move the center of the object, we need to move the components inside the object to a new position. In order to do so, we right-click on the engine and select Children. By this, all the subcomponents are selected. Make sure that you deselect the main object by pressing the Control key on your keyboard and then deselect the main object. If you have the main object still selected, you will move it also, and that won't change the pivot position. So now we can simply drag it down to the center of this cross. This is which is the scene origin, and we can also have a look from the front and check if the engine is also at the center of the cross here. If not, we can reposition it, and so I will place it like this, and then I can select the main engine again, and now I can see that I have changed the position of the subcomponents so that now the engine is more centered in regards to the pivot. So now we can check the rotation if we want by dragging the engine into the rotator further down the list here. Don't drag it above or below, just really on the rotator. And then we can press the play button and test the behavior when we rotate our model. And we can also check how the materials are reacting to the light. Simply hold down the left key to rotate it, or use the mouse wheel to scale it, and with the middle mouse button you can move it around. So now that looks good. We stop the play mode because the engine is still in our asset bundle. We can simply click on Assets and build the asset bundle again. Once done, we right-click on the asset bundle, say Show in Explorer, and then go into here, select all the asset and model files, deselect the meta files, copy them, and paste them into the ModelViewer data external model set1 folder and replace the existing files. And now we can start the ModelViewer. And now we have a new rotational point for our object, and we have updated our material for the tubes.